Palmer up to that one.
Mr. Reisner was pulled over for not signaling at a stop sign.
Pull to the side of the road. Pull to the side of the road and get back in the car.
Definitely got bowed up and got crosswise, and frankly was being unreasonable in the situation.
The traffic laws say you will pull to the right side of the road and stop for an emergency vehicle.
I pulled over.
You are not. You were stopped in the middle of the lane, and you said you're arguing with me. What is your problem?
You do your job.
Okay, I will do my job. I'm putting you in handcuffs.
So what?
Because you're being irrational.
I'm not being irrational.
Yes,
I got
you are.
PTSD and a traumatic brain injury. I'm being as rational as I can.
Other officers come, they wind up putting him in the police car. They come to search the vehicle, pop open the trunk. This big, huge assault rifle is mounted on the inside of the trunk.
That's us. What is this? Oh, that's an AK.
Knowing now what we do know about what wound up happening to Mr. Reisner, that's in hindsight very frightening to look at and see that, oh my gosh, this guy's running around with a gun.
Often past behavior predicts future behavior. With these calls, we were looking a lot at his mental state and how he evolved actually into someone who would kill a police officer in the line of duty.
Get the hell off my property.
I'm not getting off your property. I'm fixing to come in there and haul your to jail.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
I'm telling you to leave your own property.
No, I'm not. I'm here on official business.
The problem in our situation is we've got an officer from Little River Academy who's a tiny little municipality outside of Temple and probably didn't have access to those records.
Show me your hands.
Yes, I shot him. He's laying here on the porch right now.
He didn't know who he was going up against. With all the knowledge I know about the case, I'm pretty sure that didn't happen. So he just didn't know who he was dealing with. But if you don't know them, how are you supposed to know what their mental capacity is before?
Right now, officers can access criminal backgrounds, but maybe not always the mental health background.
There are probably some privacy issues that you have to keep in mind sharing information like that. It's something worth talking about.
There is a fine line between that, making sure you have the information you need and not overstepping privacy boundaries. And so you're going to have to find that right balance. I hope we were able to take some major strides on that pretty soon.
To this day, people still tell me, this is what your husband did for me. This was the kindness they showed me. This is how he impacted my life.
The trooper had stopped this vehicle because the driver was not wearing a safety belt. The trooper was in his car writing the ticket. The shooter got out of his car with an assault-style rifle.
There was no warning, there was no conversation. The man got out with a gun and proceeded to shoot.
Drop it! Put the weapon down! Put it down! Put the weapon down!
bullet went through the windshield of the patrol car and hit our trooper in the head.
Little Robert William Vetter. He always has a smile on his face and eyes like his father.
To all officers, all stations, by my authority, Trooper Randy Vetter is 10-7, out of service, and 10-42.
The man that shot Randy was Melvin Hale.
How do you feel this morning, Mr. Hale? Oh, feeling all right.
Melvin Hale has looked forward to having his day in court, and so do we.
Melvin Hale had an interaction with a police officer and told that police officer, the next time I see a police officer, I'm going to kill that police officer. 17 years ago, how was that information disseminated? It was disseminated via fax machine and tacked to a bulletin board. Not information that was readily available in a patrol car.
We had a guy the other day. He wouldn't stop for us, chased him for about 15 minutes. Mental health guy.
Roll down the window, get your hands up.
Felt bugs on him. He said people were following him, all this stuff.
Step out of the car with your hands up.
We now have entered him into Cops Inc., where if anybody else runs his tag, runs his license, they're going to know that he needs some mental health help.
And that would possibly protect an officer in the future also if they entered that name in there.
Correct, the officer and him.
What is the biggest challenge of getting Cops Inc. to more law enforcement agencies in Texas and across the country?
One of the biggest challenges is law enforcement set in its ways. You know, if it worked 20 years ago, well, by golly, it works today just fine. Sometimes red tape is a process. We make legislative moves to protect people all the time. The door is open. Now is the time to be making these moves.
Hey, gorgeous, how are you?
Handsome, I'm great. How are you?
Woo-hoo, I'm doing great now. Well, how you doing?
When I met him, he kept saying he always wanted to be one. So the day before we got married, I put him in a police academy. And when he graduated, I was his first supervisor. It's what I've been doing for 25 years. And Lee would be upset if I just quit because of him.